when we have these moments of technological and generational change, on the one hand, it provides an excellent opportunity for the disadvantaged to enter the mainstream. And on the other hand, it's taking reactionary voices that have been mainstream for a long time and forcing them to share, which is something they really, really never want to do. Because while the thought leaders of the movement are usually pretty influential, pretty wealthy men, foot soldiers of the reactionary movements are the disaffected and the downtrodden and the tired. And they see this encroaching of the new and the strange as a threat to what little, straws they're still grasping at.
Were there any parallels to like anti-woke that came around? Like when you're talking about, the suffragettes having reach now and like African Americans being like mainstreamed through the radio. I guess I'm curious if there was any reactionariness that was like anti-woke groups today. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it does make sense. And this is like where I would say maybe 8 out of 10 times I'm looking at my dear fellow progressives on the internet saying, please calm down. Please, like, it's not, we can fix this. It's fine. The sky is not falling. It's fine.
Yeah.
In this, if the sky is falling, the parallels are really, really steep. So what we probably grew up on, I'm assuming you're roughly in my age range, we probably grew up with the anti-woke phrase being cultural Marxism. If you remember that, Jim, from the 2015 internet timeline. And now it's just sort of become even simpler. It's just woke, right? Everything you don't like is woke. Everything, the wokies in Hollywood are woking up all the woke. And the wokies are in the school and they're woking up the children with the woke. And in fascist movements in Germany specifically, the phrase was judeo-bolshevism, that the Jews and the communists are in league with one another to erode our superior culture. And they're doing that through immigration, through multiculturalism, and through globalized economics. And so it is the Jews in Hollywood who are in league with the Jews in Europe to bring degeneracy into Germany through American film. And it's the Jews in the music industry and the Jews in the university who are bringing woke ideology, or not woke, excuse me, judeo-bolshevism into the classroom. Because if you send your children off to the university in Berlin, then they're going to come out a communist. And the communists have infected all of the cultural flashpoints. And that's why all of the jazz musicians are socialists. It's because they're in league with the communists who are part and parcel interchangeably with the Jews. And so, of course, all of these famous American black people are coming over and playing their music and enticing our women because the Jews are orchestrating an overthrow of our culture from the inside. And it like actually sends a chill up my spine when you sit and listen to these anti-woke warriors on whether it's like the Chai Reichik lady or it's Ron DeSantis, when you really sit and listen to them, and because they're never going to tell you what woke means. And that's not the point. The point is that it's degenerate and it's bad and they are doing it. And like, you don't have to throw the rock particularly far to be able to throw a rock from wokeism and hit judeo-bolshevism. Like, you don't even have to put any conflict into it. And there are moments where you can see figures on the right get like up on the very edge of that line without tipping over that line. I think Michael Knowles comes to mind, or Matt Walsh comes to mind, as guys that will take their like anti-wokeism up to the very border of and it's the Jew without stepping all the way over. And that might have something to do with the fact that a couple of Jewish men are their employers and they know better because it would affect where that paycheck comes from.
Interesting. So do you think that there's anything that can be done about it? Or like you said, it sends fear up your spine. So I guess I'm curious, because that means you would have thought about it before. So I'm curious if you like think there's any like solutions to it, or if it's kind of just something that is here, if that makes sense.